How do you close a high-ticket offer? That's the subject of today's episode of Greatness Quest.
Cowboy.
Welcome to a daily dose of Greatness Quest with your host, Trevor Crane, my daddy. He is going to help you take your life and business to the next level.
Here I come to save the day.
Trevor Crane here, 11-time #1 best-selling author and the founder of Epic Author Publishing, coming to you live every day so you can plug in every day to build your ideal business so you can live your ideal life.
If my daddy can do it, then anybody can do it because he's a weirdo.
It's supposed to make me sound cool. Okay, guys, I've been doing a lot of study about influence and about persuasion and about sales, and I'm coming to the point where I really want to simplify all the processes that I have used and that I have been teaching for my clients. So today we're going to talk about the 4 questions close. There's 4 questions that you can actually ask, and I've been trained on this a little bit. I actually ask a bigger series of questions in my in my book, High Paying Clients, that I use all the time. But I thought you might value this because I've been studying books lately that I've been going into in a lot of depth. So instead of just reading them once, I've been reading them multiple times and just really trying to go in and have a revelation at each stage of what I learn in the book, share what I'm learning and do so in some way where I'm actually teaching it and then applying it in my life. So it's just the next level of mastery is for me to focus on fewer things, but to go deeper and really try to master them. And one of them is to start to implement the 4 questions close into my business. And so I thought you might appreciate this because at one stage of my sales process, when I'm trying to help people come into my business and support them, I sell high-ticket programs. And I say, hey, do you want to buy this? And I use a variety of things to build up to this to help people be prepared to invest in themselves to create this result. And what I've noticed over the years, and I'd like to say that it's been months and it's only taken me a short period of time to implement this, but I've noticed over the years that some of my mentors have just shifted to a lot less salesiness about what it is that they offer. They're like, hey, this is what we sell. These are the prices, and you can buy it whenever you want. Now, they will have incentives, and they'll run different promotions, and they'll run different times when they say, hey, if you'd like to get this, or this bonus, or you want to take advantage of this offer because we're running a special campaign, then they'll have special prices, but their core offers kind of stay the same even at big ticket items. Let's say $25,000 or more. That these are just what everybody knows their fees. Now, in the past, I don't necessarily always share what all my stuff costs. So this is what I would suggest. If you do not yet have high ticket offers, I strongly advise that you get one. And I think one of the first places to start is my book, High Paying Clients. I give that away for free in every episode of my podcast, where if you just download the transcript from my each episode, you'll see I give a free link for you to just get it. And one of the first things that it talks about is having the belief in your high ticket offer. So I'm not going to go into that today. I'm just going to go into the 4 questions close. But if you don't have a high ticket offer, I highly recommend that you do something that's over $1,000. And then if you properly indoctrinate somebody in to your business opportunity, whatever it is that you are offering them, whether it's health, wealth, spirituality, it doesn't really matter. This 4-question close script can really serve you. Now, I believe this originally came from Dan Kennedy. I'm learning about it and relearning about it with Russell Brunson's book called Expert Secrets, and I've been going over this book again and again and again. So I'm going to give you the gist of it here. There are 4 steps in the 4-question close, and then I'll give you my little 2 cents about it, and then I'm going to turn you loose. So here are the 4 questions. Now, this is a closed script. If somebody has already seen your presentation, if they already know the value you provide, if you've already had with them a conversation where they know what you offer and they understand the problems that they're going through, and they understand the problems that they're having right now, and they also understand the results that they want to a certain degree. There's somebody that is already, that's I think a pregame for this, is that they've seen something that you do. This is not cold turkey. There's been some kind of warm up. Okay, so now the 4-question close. Question number 1, and I really love this question. I used it recently on a podcast I was being interviewed on, and I used this as a question to build phenomenal rapport with my prospective client. So the question is, imagine you and I were starting to work together today, and I teach you everything I know and do everything I can to help you get results. I want you to imagine that we're sitting in a coffee shop a year from today. Now, what would have happened in your life, both personally and professionally, for you to feel happy with your progress? What would make you believe that this was the best decision you ever made? Now, what's great about this is this future paces people into a result that actually plants the seed that they are working with you and they did get everything that they want. And what you're looking for are their underlying reasons that are deeper than what first comes out of their mouth. So you're going to need to probe here. I call it digging. If you think of a little dog digging in the backyard, like they're going to bury a bone. Like they dig. You want to go deep. You want to go 2-3 levels deep. There is an external reward that they're going to want. That's probably in the tune of money and lost pounds and things like that. And then there is the internal about how they feel. And what you're going to find is that you want to probe for both of those. And what you're having them imagine is a future, a year from now, where they've invested in you and or your program, and they've gotten everything they want in a bag of chips. How that would make them feel and what would they have. This is all results-based. It's a fun part of the conversation. It's not always where I have led people. Oftentimes I wanted to start with their pain and problems and things like that. Like I said, in this context, you've probably already got some kinds of idea about where they are with that. However, if not, you can still ask them in question number 2. So here's question number 2. Certainly, you know what you want. You've painted a really great picture for me, so thank you for that. You did a great job. And let me ask you this. Why don't you have that yet? What's been standing in your way or holding you back? And that's question number 2. Now, in the past, and if you read my book, High Paying Clients, you'll see that I typically try to probe more here in the pain and in the problem and what's holding them back. What I like about this 4-question close script, and I have not used it yet, not to the extent that I've actually used it to make the high ticket sales. I've used it to build phenomenal rapport, but I'm in the process of learning it and then mastering it and then applying it. So I'll come back to you and report about how this actually works for me. But what I like about it is my new fees for my offering in Epic Author Publishing are about to become very public, and then everybody's going to know these are my fees. I charge this much for this much for that, and this much for that. And then I really want to get down to the simplicity of just asking great questions to find out if people are the right fit to go into different parts of the program. And so I really like this one because, again, I've trained myself in this place where this was my weakness. This is where I never wanted to focus, which is, what is the reason standing behind what's holding you back? But this is everything. Like once they have a clear picture about what they want and you help them with that and you get cleared to their internal and external desires about what's really going on, this next one, I think it's the carrot and the stick. You just got the carrot. What do they want? And now what is holding them back and what are their problems? So the important part in this step for me is that they associate to the feeling of what it's like living like this. That's what it is for me. If you read my book, High Paying Clients, you'll see that I go very deep here because I want them to have clarity, because I find that people will act more when they've got the stick than they've got the carrot only. So make sure you go deep into this. Okay, question number 3. I want you to now think about what resources, connections, talents, or skills that you have access to that you're not currently utilizing 100%. Ones that would help you overcome your obstacles and achieve your goals. What, again, I'm really liking about this question as I share it with you, and I'm just reflecting, is that what we're doing is we are asking the client or potential prospect what they can do and what resources they can deploy. And I love this because it's not just that you are their savior, that if you buy my stuff, I will save your life. We are in this process empowering people to learn how they can fire themselves up and how they can transform this, because any real results are going to come from them. I used to think that results came from me. and that I would be working with my clients, and they got it because of my divine intuition and my phenomenal guidance and how great I was. And lo and behold, that I learned that was just a complete ego trip I was on. And the truth is that they did all the hard work to get what they wanted and where they were going, and that I was just kind of in the way. The truth was I should have just probably done a better job of stepping back and allowing them permission to succeed or fail on their own. So then another whole part of this is to make sure that you're using what I call like active listening, where you repeat back to them using their language what it is that you understood. Oftentimes when you do that and you ask great questions, you can find out that you don't have clarity, even though you might have used exactly their words and language to describe circumstances. And the reason is questions like this help people lead themselves to what's really going on. Oftentimes, if you use active listening and you repeat back to them what you think you heard and what you think they said they want and what you think they said that they are moving away from and what you think their resources are in this case, then you repeat all that back to them and you'll go, did I get that right? And they'll say, no, you didn't get it right. You weren't listening. And it's insane. Like I record my conversations like this with my client's permission so that I can use it to our benefit. And it's surprising, like that you just repeated back to them exactly what they said, but they said that's not it because they haven't yet figured it out and discovered it. So this is a great, phenomenal process of discovery. So I like these questions. Question number 4 is a very lighthearted question that I think really cuts to the meat of this. And it is, now that you understand that, and you repeat back to them, because this active listening thing is really key, is that you repeat back to them what they want, the challenges they're having and not getting them, what they think their resources are to leverage that they can go ahead and get there, and then now you can go ahead and ask them, so would you like my help with that? In fact, to read it straight out of the scripting here, so I only have, for question number 4, I only have one more question. Do you want me to help you? And then you stop talking. And if you don't say another word, like when you ask a question like this, it's the first one who speaks often loses. So you really want to give them the space to just truly decide whether or not they want your help. I was going through the process making with a sale with a couple of business partners of mine, and we were working with restaurants, helping them turn things around. And we had 3 different roles. Like I was the coach and more of the service-oriented systems type person that would improve communication. Another friend of mine was all about, we called him Dr. Profit, and another one was all about marketing. And the 3 of us partnered in a project called Project Restaurant, and we're meeting with a client. We're asking him questions, and at one stage, this question came up. It wasn't exactly this 4-question close that I just gave you, but it is in our system in asking, like, hey, would you like our help? And the restaurant owner described their circumstances being really desirable on what they wanted, very horrible about their problems and challenges and where they really were at that stage, and we were totally positioned to be able to help them. And they basically were asking for help, at least so it seemed. But in this case, we asked some type of question around like this, would you like our help to implement this change? And their answer was no. And it was so confusing because I wasn't actually asking the questions at that stage. It was a friend of mine. His name is Steve. And he was going through and asking the questions. And the way the question was even answered, it was just confusing. And Steve moved on. He moved on to do the next level of the sale. And I interrupted. And I was like, whoa, hold on a second. If I understand correctly, you have this big debt. And if you don't shift things, you're going to be out of business in 2 months. And you've already invested $2.5 million in this, and you haven't solved it in 2.5 years, and you have 2 months left, and you have a little bit of capital left, you could ask us to come in and help you and turn things around, but you don't want to. You got it handled all on your own. And he said, yes, absolutely. And I was like, oh, excellent. This is phenomenal. We can leave now. This is not someone who wants our help. This is someone who does not want our guidance, even if we can help him. He thinks he's got it all figured out. It's important to not try to push everyone. And so that was an excellent example of us listening to the answers and not trying to convince someone, but to give them what they wanted. What he wanted was to talk to us about his circumstances, and then he wanted us to leave, and then he was going to go do it on his own, which is totally awesome. And I know for a fact that business is not is not around anymore. That poor dude. He had to go back and get a corporate job, which is what he told us that he was going to go do. I'm assuming. I haven't talked to him since. But these questions I think are phenomenal. I would highly advise that you go deep in whatever it is that you're trying to learn and apply. Not necessarily reading 1,000 books, which I've read a bunch of books lately, but going deeper in them to try to find the meaning for you and the revelations for you and what you can apply. Okay, that's all I got for you. Make today magnificent, and I'm excited about the upcoming episodes that I've got for you, so stay tuned, and I hope this was a valuable 4-question close script for you. Download the transcript if you haven't yet, if you want to get this as the actual scripting, so you've got it. And I'll see you tomorrow, another Daily Dose. To get even more awesomeness, which means all my best stuff, download my app by texting Trevor to 36260. It will show up right on your cell phone. Just text message the word Trevor to 36260. Talk to you soon.